I am justice incarnate, brought to this world by forces beyond your comprehension. A cleansing storm to sweep across the land and purge it of your foul presence. I am dust, and your campaign ends here now. Throw down your weapons and surrender, or you will face an enemy unlike any this world has ever seen.
Cassius, please, don't do this. You know you cannot win.
Let's end this.
Our world has fallen to fade, its great works long since complete, its storied civilizations long since fallen to dust. The greatest legends of Elysium long since forgotten. What was once a land of promise has fallen to the ravages of war. And it was in this, our most desperate hour, that the greatest of Elysian tales began.
Such an effective opening. It sets the tone of the game to follow right from the jump, and the fact that this brief section is playable too further adds to the devastation this world has faced thus far.
What? A talking sword? What are you?
Only that which you have summoned.
Summoned? How? For what purpose?
That I do not know, but we shall learn in time. Now rise and claim the blade of Ara.
Stop! Stop right there!
And who is she?
Me? I'm Fidget, guardian of the sword.
I'm not going to go through this whole thing because it takes a while, but I will say that I do really like the introduction to our main cast. Dust, Ara, and Fidget are each set up in a way that instantly gets you hooked, especially regarding Dust's amnesia, Fidget's own curiosity, and Ara's role as Dust's guide. I'm sure you probably noticed this by now, but that won't stop me from saying that this game is gorgeous! Its art style is so unique from pretty much every game I've ever played, and each frame of animation and the textures on the environments is lovingly hand-painted. There was never an instance where the game looked dull or even subpar, and the only competition this has for the prettiest game I've ever played would probably be the Ori duology, though other games like Slay the Princess and Nine Souls do come close to being in discussion. Still, 10 out of 10 in the visuals department. This opening section also serves as a tutorial, not just for combat, but also for your abilities in platforming and collectibles like chests. And it does its job well. Everything's straightforward and easy to learn, and the characters have their own quips about it, which makes it feel more natural than simply telling you which button to press. Okay, Fidget says that at one point, but that's a funny way of saying it. So how's the combat in this game? Really, really fun. There's a variety of combos you can pull off, coupled with your Dust Storm abilities that's great for crowd control, and with the right combos, you can straight up fly through the air, which is always fun. You also get additions to your Dust Storm ability that we'll talk about later, and those enhance the combat even further.
Before you leave, might I propose an offer?
That would depend on the offer.
If I may be so bold, you are not prepared for the journey ahead. I, however, can offer assistance. Please, accept this blueprint as a gift. Should you find a blacksmith and the necessary materials, they may be able to craft the item for you. I can offer you materials as well, though I'm not entirely sure what materials this land deems of value. I am not from around here, as I'm sure you've guessed by now. Once you've sold me a new material type, I will be able to restock my store with it. As for your reward, I will pay you a bonus for the first new material you sell me.
Ah, you'll buy them at a high price.
I don't know if this is supposed to be a Resident Evil 4 reference, but either way, it's pretty funny. Now we have technically our first boss of the game, a wave of enemies plus a giant followed up by 2 giants. A nice way to put the skills you've been taught to the test to prepare you for the journey ahead. It can be a little tough depending on how good you are at parrying, but if you lock in and give it your all, you'll find victory with maybe a scratch or 2.
Speaking of which, where exactly do you come from? There's nothing west of here except crazy old Cora.
We're,
Prospectors! We are prospectors! And we're out on an excavation to find, ore deposits. In the mountains. You know, gold, silver, manganite?
Normally, the joke with Fidget's lie would be that the guards fall for it, but not only do they not buy it one bit, but they also still let them through because they killed those giants. Reasonable, yet still humorous in its own way. Aurora Village, the first of 2 major towns you come across in this game. It's not much, but it has all you need for a game like this. NPCs to talk to, side quests to take on, and a shop to restock items from. Simple town for simple folk, and it simply works well. While it is optional, there's an area called Archer's Pass you can go to and find a blacksmith at the top. And this is where you can use the blueprints you've likely picked up along your travels to craft into gear. It's a helpful spot early on in the game, but if you're worried about constantly needing to backtrack here for goodies, there's both a shortcut at the foot of the pass and a receiver you get not too long afterwards that annexes the trip entirely. Also, there's hints that Haley might have interest in dust, even though I can't really tell. And there's a trophy for continuously talking to and bugging Maddie, Haley's brother. Fun stuff. Abadi's Forest is the first major area beyond the tutorial, town, and route to the blacksmith, and this is where the game really opens up as a Metroidvania. Well, I would say that, but compared to its peers, while most do have a set path in mind for you to follow, Dustin Elysian Tail is a bit more linear. It's got all the classic staples you'd expect from the genre, hidden collectibles and alternate paths you can't access without a certain power-up, and you only get these power-ups after a certain point which opens up those areas for backtracking, but as far as the general freedom of exploration, you're pretty much stuck on one path that doesn't allow for much freedom. That might be considered a turnoff for some hardcore Metroidvania nerds, but personally, as someone who prefers a clear sense of direction over aimless wandering, I don't mind this approach. I definitely prefer this over the endless mazes of Hollow Knight.
Finally, we're out of those chasms.
What's the matter? Afraid of the dark?
Ha! I laugh at the dark. Actually, I'm afraid of heights.
Wait, heights? How's that possible? You fly all the time, everywhere.
Oh, do I? I must have forgotten. Just like you must have forgotten that I can still fall at any time.
Now it's time for our first boss fight against Fuse, and with him comes our first sin. Yeah, finally, something wrong with this game. In a vacuum, he should be fine with all his jumping around and fire attacks aplenty, but given how the combat is set up in this game, it is way too easy to stun lock him into an endless string of combos. Hell, it's to the point where you might not even see him use many or any of his attacks since you'll likely kill him so quickly, and so easily. Granted, first bosses aren't usually anything spectacular, but they don't usually fall victim to the combat system itself. Oh well, at least you get the Firestorm ability after it, and it's pretty cool.
I have come to my end.
What are you?
Among the last of a dying breed, a once proud race, extinguished by your hands.
My hands?
You and your warm-blooded kin, we Moonblots were outcast, scattered to the wind. You and others like you, they came to my village, killed my family.
I can't remember.
There is sadness in your eyes, but it is not guilt. It is loss. After all you've done to my kind, you still think only of yourself. Perhaps that is for the best. Your leader, Gaius, he led you and your fellow assassins into battle.
Assassins?
He even murdered his own kind, our greatest allies amongst the Warmbloods. But one escaped. She was the only one I would dare spare in the slaughter that was to come.
She? Who are you talking about? Who did I kill?
Who knows? Who sees? My vision has left me. I return now to the life thread and to my brethren.
No, wait!
Farewell, Warmblood. Ashes to ashes.
Dust to dust.
Ugh, what a death scene. Despite being crazed, you feel for him in his last moments, yet there's also something foreboding in his words. Signs of a greater threat that drove him to do these terrible deeds. It doesn't absolve him from them, but we can at least sympathize with him. By this point, you'll likely come across the first of a few challenge arenas dubbed Cerulean Trials, and if you want a challenge from this game, look no further than these. The goal is simple: make it to the end of the arena within the time limit, kill as many monsters as you can, and break all the torches along the way. Do that, and you can get a 4-star rating. Sounds easy? Well, believe you me, it's anything but. Between the obstacles you'll need to avoid, the hordes of enemies that only get more dangerous as you go on, and even the layout of the arena itself sometimes getting in your way, it's guaranteed to take you more than one try to get the highest score necessary. And yes, these are required for 100% because there's trophies attached to getting 4-star ratings on all of them. That being said, despite bashing my head against more than half of them, I can't say it was ever unpleasant to attempt these. Sure, it was hard as hell, but I could definitely feel myself improving with each attempt I made, and when I did manage to beat them, it genuinely felt satisfying to achieve that 4-star rating. So even though you'll definitely find yourself wanting to scream, these are a good challenge that's worth at least giving it your best shot. The Suramon Caverns is the next big area on the docket, and it's in competition with only one other area that we'll get to later for the prettiest area in the game. Seriously, the bioluminescence alone already sells it, never mind the rock and water textures. Sure, there's a couple irritations to be had with the dark runes and the bubble sprouts later on, but still, this proves there's at least one good thing about going past rock bottom.
There he is.
Your father's done gonna have himself a heart attack after he hears about this.
I'm sorry, Mama.
Goodness, what would I do if you gotten yourself hurt?
Ah, Mama, look! Those things must have followed me.
How'd they jump my fence? Crafty vermin, those surface dwellers.
She does see that I can fly, right?
The quaint village of Mudpaw is the other major town you'll be visiting, and much like Aurora before it, it's simple but nice. A shop to buy stuff from, NPCs to talk to, side quests to take on, all very similar stuff, but the general vibe of the place feels different enough to make it distinct from Aurora. Plus, the people all have country accents, and I find that neat.
Wait, did you just... Did you just put that thing in your inventory?
Yeah? What?
Okay, then.
Okay, boss fight number 2 is against Lady Tethys, a water goddess, and while she's not exactly hard, she's at least a bit better than Fuse. Her lightning attacks can be a bit tough to dodge, and she's got a claw attack to further add on damage. Granted, just like Fuse, it's pretty easy to stun lock her if you know what you're doing, but it's at least not quite as easy and will require some skill to do. Also, you get the Lightning Storm ability from it, and that's easily the best projectile type in the game. So all in all, she gets a win, even if it's a bit half-hearted.
Tell you what, since you're in the hunting mood, maybe you could help me with my teeth.
I don't see how those two things relate. Also, I don't want to see how those two things relate.
What's wrong with your teeth, Blop?
Aside from the fact that I only got one left.
No, you have 3 teeth left. One's bigger than the other, sure, but the other 2 are definitely there.
Bobo, darling, please come inside.
Mama? What is it, Mama?
He held on as long as he could, but it just wasn't enough.
Huh? Oh, no! You can't go! Just got the water running, he did!
I'm sorry, sweetheart. I truly am. He was such a fighter. It was just his time. And when it comes, there ain't nothing you can do.
But we got the water running.
We failed, Fidget. We weren't fast enough. Damn it! We weren't fast enough!
Dust, you stop that moaning right this instant! You did what you could. You did more than anyone. And for that, you deserve all our thanks. You could have gotten the water running days ago. But I think the hurt was just too hard on him.
Huh? Didn't you hear? I got the water running! Ah! Ah!
Oh, what a heartbreaking moment. Despite all our efforts to save him, Bopo's dad still dies, and now we're just left with our emotions. We're able to help so many others, but even just one life lost is enough to hurt so badly. Not to mention Dust's fury afterwards with Ara and his confusion as to who he is and why he's here. It's emotionally rough, but beautifully constructed. The Sorrowing Meadow is the next major area, and this is where things start to get tough. Enemies are more aggressive, some are even invulnerable to your sword and can only be killed via projectile spam, and the environment can get pretty spiky all around, which makes for cumbersome navigation. Still nothing you likely can't handle with practice, and by this point, a nice challenge is welcome. This area is also home to 4 mansions that you'll need to visit in order to retrieve 4 items from within to help out Cora. And also within is one of the progenitors of the classic indie game that's not a horror game decides it wants to freak you out trope. Not only is the atmosphere of the mansions eerie and grim, but there's also a monster in here that wants to kill you. And surprise, surprise, you can't kill it. So you gotta hightail it to the end of each mansion each time to escape it. And each mansion gets progressively harder to navigate as you go on. Might not be the scariest thing I've experienced, especially in indie games, but it's effectively tense and challenging in its own right. Can't say I wasn't sweating from these, that's for sure. And sure enough, our third boss fight is against this demon, and it's easily the worst one of the lot. All it does is slowly swipe at you, which is really easy to dodge, and summon enemies that are mildly annoying at worst. It can also silence Fidget and prevent you from using projectiles, but besides that, just wail on it repeatedly until it dies. You don't even get a new projectile type from it. It was one thing when Fuse was the first boss, but this is well past the midpoint of the game. Things should be more interesting than this, and yet it's not. It's slow and clunky and pretty mediocre, and that's not very fun. The Blackmoor Mountains, easily the most beautiful area the game has to offer. I mean, just look at it all. From the white fluffy snow to the damp shining caverns, it's pure eye candy. Would probably get a win based on that alone. Luckily, it's a good area too, with challenging enemies and obstacles, a section where you navigate an avalanche, and a throwback to Castlevania 2 of all things. All this considered probably makes it my favorite area to play through from both a gameplay and story perspective.
Well, that did something.
It sure did. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking we find another one.
Huh?
That obviously wasn't enough. We need to break more pillars.
Fidget, I think the bitter cold is creating lapses in your judgment.
That is ridiculous. I'm perfectly...
A few moments later.
That's 2.
Not enough. Not enough. We'll need to find more if we're going to clear away that snow.
We really should get you someplace warm, Fidget. I think you're coming down with something.
Never! That is a lovely singing voice.
Stop, Fidget. Just stop.
Oh, I think I'm coming down with something.
Zeplik Village, the source of the biggest story reveal this game has to offer. It's a melancholic place with everything in ruins, but by the end, you reach a house where you get the truth about Dust's identity, which is...
Ginger. She was sleeping right here, on the night I came to say goodbye. But I hesitated. I didn't want to wake her. Didn't want her to worry about me. She couldn't know what I was about to do.
Dust, what are you saying?
She couldn't know that I was about to go avenge our parents.
You mean, you're... But how? What's going on here?
I remember now. But how? How can I have helped destroy this village, but be a victim of that same act? That's impossible.
Only impossible for a creature with a single soul.
Ginger.
Those eyes. I know those eyes.
So, Mithrarin, you finally see the truth.
Dust is a being of 2 souls joined as one. Ginger's brother Jin and Gaius's top assassin Cassius. On a fateful night 1 year ago, Jin and Cassius fought, slaying each other where they stood. And after the deed, the Moonbloods combined the two souls to make one being that would save them from Gaius' tyranny. Their Sen Mitraren, he who is born of the dust. It's an effective moment and easily the highlight of Dust's story. And the only downside is that in order to talk about it, I have to spoil it for those of you who haven't played this game. It is what it is, but take it from me. Experiencing this reveal blind is one of the best experiences you can have in a game. Before we go any further, I'd like to quickly talk about the completion process for this game. As I said, Dust and Elysian Tail is something of a Metroidvania, and by this point in the game, you should have most of what you need to attain everything for 100%. What you'll need to do is open every treasure chest and cage in every area, the latter of which contains characters from other indie games, which is very fun, collect every key, document, and material to catalog for the shop, and complete all 21 side quests. A sizable list of things to do, but it's all fun and never dull, especially when some side quests involve reuniting two lost lovers, making a fidget doll for a kid, and saving a trapped child who was forced to do someone's laundry. That last one, by the way, has the added bonus of potentially putting some poison ivy into the guy's laundry as karma, and while there are trophies for doing both, the guy deserves his itchiness, no question. Oh boy, the Everdon Basin, the last and sensibly the hardest area in the game. The first bit in the Moonblood camp isn't too bad, just some moderately tough platforming here and there, but once you're out in the final charge, things really heat up, more than they already are. You gotta go through dozens of soldiers, dog soldiers, giant soldiers, and aircraft raining hell from above, on top of sections where you gotta sneak by cannons and destroy them from behind. It's an intense sequence, no doubt, but strangely, if you've been at all confident throughout this game, it's surprisingly manageable. Not easy by any means, you'll definitely find yourself healing a lot, but by stealing yourself and using all your skills to the fullest, you'll see victory by the end. Just be sure to take advantage of the explosions from the aircraft and stock up on a lot of ice cream. You'll need it for the fire.
General Gaius!
Wait! Just a moment. Lower your weapons. I said lower your weapons!
You have much to answer for, General.
And what of you, my friend? A year ago I heard stories of your death, at the hands of a child, no less. Now here you stand, not only alive, but leading the very creatures we've been charged to destroy.
You've been charged to destroy, not me.
What happened to you, Cassius?
Cassius?
Do you not remember your own name? What have those damned Moonbloods done to you?
You know, after going through this whole game, hearing the horror stories of Gaius from the locals and seeing bits and pieces of him in between chapters, you'd expect him to be this tyrannical monster, yet when you do meet him, while he is by all means a stern, evil general, he also genuinely wants his friend Cassius back, and is trying his hardest to see him in dust. In no way does this make him sympathetic, but it's certainly an unexpected, yet interesting angle to take with your main villain.
Jin is dead, as is Cassius. Their souls now live within me, constantly reliving that fateful day. Forever in battle, forever at odds. But as long as I live, I still have a choice.
Then what are you?
I am justice incarnate, brought to this world by forces beyond your comprehension. A cleansing storm to sweep across the land and purge it of your foul presence. I am dust, and your campaign ends here now. Throw down your weapons and surrender, or you will face an enemy unlike any this world has ever seen.
Cassius, please, don't do this. You know you cannot win.
Let's end this.
And following all of that is the final fight with General Gaius, and he puts every other boss in this game to shame. He's got 4 phases, each with their own additions. One's got him swinging his sword at you with 2 guards by his side, one's got him throwing in electric orbs similar to Lady Tethys, and aircraft to help him while you get Moonblood soldiers by your side, one's got more soldiers spawning in while you can use the nearby bomb fruit to your advantage, and one's just you and him atop 3 platforms at the bottom of the volcano. He can even inflict poison and silence Fidget, and unlike every other boss, you can't stunlock him. You gotta try your hardest to beat this guy, and while it is tough, it's fair enough that by the end of your first or second try, you'll see Gaius slain for his crimes. A great way to end such a great game, and I only wish the other bosses were half as good as this.
Fidget!
We did everything right, Dust. Everything we were supposed to do.
And sometimes that's not enough, Fidget. When the life threat calls. Fidget, thank you.
Goodbye, Dust.
Aw man, even though we technically won, Dust still dies in the end. It's sad to see, but not every story has a fully happy ending. Sacrifices need to be made for the sake of the greater good. And yet, there's still some hope.
Dust's sacrifice will allow the Moonblood race to rise again, to rebuild our glorious civilization and live peacefully among the races of this world. Though it may appear that Dust has fallen here today, a force of good is not so easily extinguished. Sen Mithrarin was born of dust, a current from the winds of change, a harbinger of storms yet to come.
Dust?
Now where the f*** is my Dust sequel? Well, that's Dust and Elysian Tail, and what a tale it was. You may or may not be surprised to see that the sin counter has barely moved during this video, and that's because, as a whole, there's barely anything wrong with this game. Sure, I could be more nitpicky towards some stuff here and there, but unless it's pretty obvious that something a character's saying is wrong, I prefer not to do that, especially if it comes out forced and feels like I'm just looking for problems to artificially inflate the sin counter. Sometimes a game is just so good that I only find small problems in select places, and while they annoy me when I see them, the rest of the game is overwhelmingly great in comparison. Really, the only reason this isn't one of my favorite games of all time is due to personal preference and nothing more, and I imagine that's how it is for many people. Dust is a classic for the indie sphere, and I'm so happy that I got to talk about it here today. As for next time, we're going to be back with another episode of my new Electric Evaluation series, and it's going to be a very fun one to make. If you're itching for a hint as to what it is, allow me to ask one question. Do you like fruit? See you next time, everybody!